people who were young during 9/11, what happened was this. A bunch of Saudi Arabians hijacked planes and took down Twin Towers and some other buildings too. And then there was a leadership void. W was not on TV for like 3 days, 4 days or something while they were gathering information. Giuliani stepped up and filled that void. Giuliani was a guy on the rubble with the bullhorn telling America it was going to be okay. And that's how he became America's mayor.
Remember the fire hat?
I just want to say how much I love that to backfill people on info. You didn't just tell them about Rudy Giuliani. You made sure they were aware of 9/11 as an event. Like, like just, someone out there's listening and they're like, whoa.
I was wondering what you were smiling about.
Crazy to think that
Saudi Arabians doing it, but I was like, I don't want that to go forgotten. I think people think that a bunch of guys from Iraq or Afghanistan took out the Twin Towers, but it wasn't. They were
because that was the common misconception that we were fed in the news for a very long time.
It's like they didn't say it; they just implied it.
What are you, crazy, GB? You think that was a mistake? You think they knowingly lied us into wars for decades?
Never.
Crazy person. You think we're going to do it again right now? You're crazy.
Where's my tinfoil hat? Hold on a second.
All the wars are good. What's the biggest thing you guys have ever killed in your house?
In my house.
Or apartment, whatever.
There was that drifter.
Yeah. No, but he was bad.
So I murdered a human one time.
No, he was a good drifter.
He's a great drifter.
Biggest thing I can think of that euthanized a pet rat.
Euthanized it?
Yeah.
I used
flew him to Sweden.
Dry ice, which is frozen carbon dioxide, I think,
and just smashed him with it.
Put him in a cooler, and he just falls asleep and then asphyxiates. And apparently, it's a kind way to kill a rat. I googled it.
The nicest way to kill a rat. It just goes sweetly to sleep. Is it going like? Do you hear like?
It was already very sick. It had a large tumor on its side. I've done it more than once, but like this is basically putting rats down like you would a dog.
Okay.
My daughter likes pet rats. She has them now. Not in my house.
Not in my fucking house though, because not a chance.
I'm gonna have to put my dog down soon. The little 16-year-old Pomeranian. I feel real bad. I'm gonna try one more thing. I'm gonna get it a little oxygen tent. And like put it on oxygen, see if that helps, because she's
just like Ashley Seals.
I need Wings to come on and make a video where he holds a pen, crosses his hands a lot, and says, "So Ashley, while I'm using you for clout, as you die in front of us." I need him to. I wish he could raise some money.
I remember this now.
I assumed everyone knew who Ashley Seals was, which is not good.
She's
but
that
I had totally forgotten.
Used that time.
She is the girl with maybe not
her brain don't
palsy.
Work.
Cerebral palsy, perhaps. I'm not positive on that though. But Wing said that if you donated money towards this cause and help her get into a bariatric chamber, then it might help her walk. And that was his heart was in the right place. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
What was it he said?
I don't know
whoever's joke it was that I think you said you should start going to graveyards and doing videos.
Yeah, we were gonna one up each other. He was like, dude, this is working great. Everyone loves this. I'm gonna help out more like sick people. And I was like, that's nothing. I'm going to do seances and shit in a graveyard.
Like, dude, you go to hospice care, I'm going to the graveyard. You can't one up me on this.
Yeah.
You can't remove me from every children's hospital.
Speaking of ceremonial ass whipping sticks,
he's like, you get a metal rod. There's a loophole.
Fucking seek and destroy. Did you see that?
Look
video?
at how small this bullet is. Like
seek and destroy. Where are we?
Yeah. So I spelled seek SIHK or whatever though, like one of those seeks, or is it
SIKE? Oh, SIKH.
That's psych. But
this is a Taylor question. I bet Taylor's just laughing at us trying to spell seek.
Is it
I wasn't laughing until you said psych. Like that's
I think it's PSYCH.
It's SIKH.
Yeah. So seek and destroy is when that black guy tried to rob that Sikh fellow, and he's behind the counter at the gas station, and he is taking all of the tobacco. And you got to keep in mind, if you don't smoke or you don't know, I don't even know what they cost now. They used to cost like $7. They probably are 10 in a lot of areas. $10 a pack, let's call it. And he's getting hundreds of packs. He's back there with a trash can with wheels on it, and he's raking it all in, and it's being
pouring it in.
And
I saw him take condoms too, which are equally
Swisher
kind of
Sweets, fucking
dollar
like
versus size valuable.
Yeah. So and it's being recorded by this customer, and then the guy tries to leave, and suddenly we see a white fellow that I haven't seen yet, and he's a stocky, strong man. He's the gentleman holding the robber down on the ground right now. The man with the broomstick, no, that's a fucking mop handle, is the Sikh fellow. You can see his little turban there or whatever.
Oh,
he
yes,
beat this guy's legs. He beat this guy's legs and ass so severely with this. He's given him the most powerful overhand blows he can muster. If this was an RPG, you'd have procced all of your buffs. And that's what he's done. It's just whack, whack, whack.
He hits him like he's trying to split a thick log. Like he's giving it. He's he beats
trying to kill him.
And then so I didn't know that guy was white. Maybe I misidentified him, but the guy holding him down is putting up a bit of a struggle, right? It's not going smoothly. The guy on the ground is trying to escape, and just as the video ends, the guy on the ground, I hate to call him a victim, the thief, we'll say, his head gets exposed, and I'm like, oh, now it begins, and the video ends. And I don't know what happened.
I wasn't with you there. I'll tell you what I was doing though. Anyone who hasn't seen the video, search it out. It's easy to find. He's beating him about his shins, his calves, and they're these really hard blows. And the guy's screaming in pain and
this video is fucking hysterical. The guy is swinging so vehemently that at like around swing like 17 to 25. He's like taking the time, almost balking at it and realizing it's a poor swing, readjusting to better hit the knees and shins of this guy.
Yep.
And the guy getting hit is, no, it's okay. It's okay. And it's like, no, it's not okay. You just tried to steal a garbage bag full of cigarettes. And I think you're getting a little comeuppance here.
Because the guy was telling him not to steal his stuff. And he's like, I will fuck you up. And I think he might have been, if he wasn't reaching for a gun, he was implying that he had one.
He he looked like a fake knife. He had it looked like a Jimmy bar or something, like some sort of flat bladed tool. Probably not a knife, but something that he's like grabbing it and sort of threatening with it and sticking it back in his back pocket and going back to work. I love the end of the video. The last 3 or 4 whacks are right on his ass because the guy's rolled over to hide his shins. And the guy recording, who's also black, mind you, goes, "That's what you call an ass whooping. Whoop his ass." And I'm cheering along every time he swings. The first time I watched it, I'm like, whoop him, whoop him, whoop him. Because he's hitting him right across his ass with this big axe handle like pole as hard as and you can hear it. It's whack, whack, whack. I loved it. I
wanted more. I didn't get enough. I thought thigh and shin shots weren't appropriate punishment.
Do you remember that old clip of the guy at
70?
McDonald's?
They got 70. The whacker.
Good for the whacker. He's in shape. He's a king.
Oh, yeah, he looked good.
Love that guy. Do you remember that clip from many years ago of the 2 women jumping over the McDonald's counter and the McDonald's guy picking up a large like piece of metal, like a thin piece of metal, and smacking them, and like 2 smacks into it, it's clear the battle's won, like it's over, and he just keeps being like,
"You're half right. The battle's won, but it's not over."
Yeah, the battle is right, but it's not over. And he's smacking them so goddamn hard and I think at one point he's like, "I'm not going back to prison," or like some sort of like just screaming something to those
part of that. My favorite part is he kind of stops for a minute because she's saying stuff from the floor up at him, and I thought she was begging, but she's not. She's talking shit, and he goes, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." And then he like goes back to work again. And it's like, why would you ever insult the man? He's skinny, but he's tall. Like the big man standing over you with the metal rod. Why would you do anything?
He's already shown he's so eager.
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. That's what you should be saying when the big man is beating you with the metal rod.
I should have salted your fries. I'm sorry. Yeah.
He whipped their asses, and I think he got away with it too. I'm pretty sure he did.
I hope he did. He did a service.
He went overboard, to be fair. Like, not in my personal view, because I'm more sort of a street justice, fair is fair kind of thing. Like, oh, you thought it was funny before. It's nice to see people get their comeuppance. I love when you see a video. If I were a director, the thing that works the best on me is when someone's being bullied or beaten, and you know that somebody's gonna come and rescue them, but they don't. Like they give you another 10 seconds of the beating. Like it's gone too far. You're like, oh, keep bullying little Timmy, and they're like, damn, you cut Timmy a little. Don't cut him. Fuck. Are they gonna kill Timmy? Oh shit! And then the comeuppance comes. Like you really gotta push it a little bit further, and I love it. I love it. And you see so much of that in Street Justice. There's the classic video where the guy is just driving through, and I think they like hit his car with something. They instigate. He gets out with a fucking baseball bat.
A metal one.
A metal one.
5v1.
If you've never fought a man with a metal baseball bat, then good for you. You're probably smarter than these fucking goofballs.
I used to be smart before the damage.
Yeah, before I fought someone with a baseball bat.
Dude,
and now I can't wipe myself.
Baseball bat has this beautiful sound it makes. Obviously, I never use wooden bats because you only use wooden. But pros?
Pros.
You didn't play in the majors?
Yeah,
no. He never had the makings.
I'm just saying, like you don't fuck with wooden bats until you're like a career player.
Yeah,
like I don't know anybody I'd never seen a wooden bat that's other than like the jokey ones you buy at the store. That's a beautiful sound, that ping it makes. There's another great video, two girls fighting with aluminum baseball. One of them has the bat, the other wants some, and she gives it to her, hits her in the face with an aluminum bat. Ping!
It's insane how I know the video you're talking about.
Dude, I bet you'll know this one. I think a girl or two is coming to bully somebody, and she's at her own house, and she grabs a shovel, and then it turns out a shovel to the head is a very effective weapon, and she just
against a 16-year-old girl.
KO'd. Yeah. I was
16-year-old girls don't have chance for
that's
shit.
Brutal. I don't know if there's a UFC fighter that could stand up to a shovel being swung to the head.
Shovels are often made of tool
metal
steel. People don't know that's like a special kind of strong, durable steel. It's not the same as the steel.
I didn't know that either.
I would imagine it's a hard steel, like a high carbon steel, so that it doesn't get worn down.
Yeah, but would it be a human jaw?
Yes,
I think I would have. Oh, so I've got a shovel story. The gunsmith that my father and I would often use. Bit of an eccentric man, and behind his gun shop were some chicken houses, poultry houses, and they were empty and clearly run down. And we asked him one day, "Hey, what happened to the farm?" You know, he's like, "They cut me off." Oh, and what that means is the poultry company cut him off. They fired him and would no longer send him chicks. Essentially, he's done. You know, you're a contractor. You need them to send you birds, or you're not a chicken farmer anymore. I'm like, what happened? Well, they were here catching the chicks one night. There was a Mexican walking through the chicken house, knocking the light bulbs out with a stick, one after another. There's a light bulb every fucking 6 feet for 500 feet, two or three wide, and pop, 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 knocking them out. It's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm turning out the lights. Like, that ain't how you turn them out. Pop, pop. Walks away from him. He said, I looked down there, my shovel was. So I picked it up and walked up behind him. He popped about two more before I got to him. That was his last one. Because I laid that sumbitch out. and that was he knocked the fucker out. Apparently he roughed him up some more after he knocked him out, and they cut him off. But don't be careful how you turn the man's lights out. My uncle is terrified of snakes and rats. So he always goes straight to the shotgun, even if it's indoors. Like he arms himself right away. Yeah. Yeah, he's blown holes in his house before dealing with like a rat snake. And he said the funniest thing.
That's doubly scary for him. Actually, it could be a solution.
Yeah. Not anymore. But he said, why would you shoot a snake like that in the house? He's like, if he'd gotten away, I'd have had to burn the whole damn thing down. I couldn't have lived with him. Crawling around in here tonight. And it's true. Like if there was a snake in your house, I would have a real hard time going to sleep in that house and not because they can
just kill it with a hockey stick and then you sleep soundly.
What if he gets away though into the house?
He didn't get
walls.
Away.
No, but it's a rat snake. It's not a woody snake. I assume I'm fine. It seems like we could be friends.
Yeah,
that vaporized.
You know how you let spiders stay alive? I always let house snakes live.
It's genius, yeah. And if the snakes are too much, that's why I never kill the spider monkeys.
Yeah. You have an increasingly more dangerous predatory chain of animals.
Right.
No, don't kill that. That's the snake hawk. in case
Don't kill the
snakes.
cougars or the spider monkeys get out of control.
Exactly.
Dad was in the backyard shooting his pistol one time. This is forever ago. I was 5 when this happened, but apparently my mom screamed because there was a mouse in the cupboard, and he comes running in the house, of course, with his pistol in hand, and there the mouse is. I've never asked him why, but the answer has to be, man, there he was, and I had the gun and all.
Oh no!
And he'd have been younger.
He wanted new cabinets.
Of course, he vaporized it. I was like, was there much cleanup? Oh no. Just patching the hole. Just patching the hole.
It didn't like explode it near all your nice dishware.
Oh, I'm sure it did. It would have just vaporized it though. It was a big gun.
It's
Nothing left. Nothing left. You shoot
I wouldn't want to shoot any animal in my house because you'd be thinking the whole time about the amount of errands, chores, and work you're making for yourself.
You gotta pick that shit up.
And carpeting, and it's going to explode. You think the viscera, the snake's going to come off your drywall and your carpet?
Yeah, no problem. A little viscera here and there.
A little bit here and there.
A little light viscera is good for the decor.
That adds character to the
Yes.
laundry room when you've slain a few critters in there. Okay, I got no problem with that at all. I've been doing some research. I've been trying to figure out how to oxygenate this little fucking dog. I think I can get like a little doggy tent that I just turn the O2 onto, and she can sit next to me on the couch on her pillow and just.
You could put her in a little iron lung.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah.
What is an iron lung? Is it
an old school bariatric chamber?
Okay,
for
so
polio.
it's an airtight little chamber that you just dump oxygen into.
Yeah, I don't think it really needs to be airtight because you just keep
I
that
don't know if
constant
it's
flow
oxygen.
going with what I'm doing. With a
You're in
bariatric
the iron lung, your head's sticking out. And so you're like chatting with your head out. And I think that's for a long time the only thing they had for polio,
So you don't
right?
breathe in it? Like what's
It
the
breathes.
purpose?
It breathes for you. And so it's like,
Where's the air go in? They cut a hole in your lung?
I thought they were all tubed up in there. I don't know.
tubed up in there. That is not how a bariatric chamber works.
Is that not? They're not all tubed up.
No, they're all
This is hilarious that this
they're
is our-
pressurized in there.
Here's a SpongeBob cartoon. To
Thank
show
you for
this
the.
one.
Yes, this is Mrs. Puff in a bariatric chamber.
You see the balloon in the back. Now that represents that the device has not been turned on. Obviously, or that balloon will be
That character on the
look
right
at her-
looks
look at her
like,
eyes.
Looks like there's no pickles on his sandwich.
I like the people on the side of the iron lung.
Yeah,
Hot.
man.
Zach says it
this is a
forces your
good show.
diaphragm to work. I would.
Oh.
I mean, bariatric chamber suggests that you're like pressurized or depressurized. Your body is in there, which might make it easier for you to inflate or.
Yeah, I guess I'm an idiot. What the fuck would the point of the giant tube be if you were all plugged up anyway? They just put you in bed.
But I'm not gonna put my dog in that. I'm just gonna get a little oxygen. Or
Although that would be
Have her
it
breathe
would
a
look
little bit.
adorable.
How do you
You
do
know,
it? Do you put her in a
it's-
little? I'm picturing a small tent or something, and just
Exactly.
pipe oxygen into it.
It's a square little doggy tent that looks like a dog carrier, and then you can just pump O2 to her. Right now, the question is the cheapest way to get O2, whether I get canisters or an oxygen concentrator. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
What is an oxygen concentrator? How much
Yeah,
is
I'm
that?
curious, man. I'm in the
It's
research
exactly
right
what
now.
it sounds like. It
Just
concentrates
pulls it out of the air.
Yeah, you know, there's the oxygen has our air has a pretty low oxygen content. I think it's like 13 or 16% of our air is oxygen. So it, pumps those numbers up and then gives it to the animal.
So you'll have
or
an
whatever.
oxygen generator. You'll have an endless supply of oxygen.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
it's
is
just
my
like you do,
thing.
Woody,
That's
in the
adorable.
air.
Yeah, but
I
mine's
see
not
your point, but I can make
concentrated.
it.
Yeah,
that's
you'll be able
true.
to make O2. That could be useful for something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I can.
Next
Oh,
time you
this
drive your
is-
car at altitude.
this is sad.
At what altitude are you driving?
How
it's
do you
not
lose
fucking
power at like
Wait.
12,000
Did you see the Photoshop on that one? That was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just
No,
the
I
fact that
didn't see it.
It was so rough at the bottom. It was.
Pull that back up. Do
You just see that again.
you not
They
think it was a
always
real
Photoshop.
photo?
No.
Oh God. Yeah, look at that. That is just great. There's like no shadowing underneath that right leg. Like the dog
They
just looks
always do.
miserable in there. Like
Yeah, you
what
can tell
is?
because they picked a not dying dog.
Yeah.
like-
Also, they put the tail covering like the nether region area of the dog to like protect it for whatever reason. Look,
Is this
you
one
don't
of
see
those
the hair.
listings?
really in
Look at the
Is this one
hair.
of
You
those,
can-
is this one of those Amazon listings where the company's name is like X Factor and like the description is like air in tube for
Yeah.
dog, air good,
Air.
oxygen all.
Air Factor X, and then then they just
made in China, and all the reviews are like, my dog still died.
I'll take Chinese air. Theirs is as good as ours, I'm told.
Oxygenforpets.com. That seems like where you should go shopping.
I've been
my
on
dog
Amazon
died, and all I got was this lousy air tent. Maybe you can get a t-shirt for it.
And I was thinking, like, maybe, me, I would like to do cardio and test my performance on and off oxygen or something like that. I would love to do things like that. We just had a UFC event that was at Salt Lake City, which is at roughly 5,000 feet of altitude, and you could see it affect a lot of people. And so I don't know. I'd like to experience that. The last time I was in Colorado, I remember not being short of breath, but
I was super short of breath last time I was out there, because I was out there years ago to commentate the like these series of tournaments. I would fly in and out every week, so my body had to adjust to that altitude every time. And after a while, it got there. But in the beginning, I would start commentating like a whole sentence, and then I'd need to just, and then I just go back casting more, like talking more, and then I have to take another big gasp of breath again. And it was a lot to work around. So that it is and we were like, I don't know exactly like where we were, but all I know is we were high up, and I walked outside and I saw a lot of mountains. So I'm assuming we were very high up, but
pretty much.
I'm from New York, so I know nothing about altitude. So
that's definitely the highest I've been in Colorado, both literally and literally.
Yeah.
And you notice it for sure. I don't know. I don't know how to say this without sounding shitty, but I was in really good shape, when I was there. So I was running, miles and miles a week. So maybe didn't, but I remember I've gone times past, and especially when you'd be smoking weed, because it'd usually be a weedcation for me. The coughing and everything, you'd really be like, "Whoa, man!"
That shit would have to hit.
Slow down
after a little while.
It's got to be such a cool thing for people. I don't know, people who are Star Trek nerds to be able to get on an episode. In the most recent episode, I saw Clint Howard, and I guarantee Clint Howard was like, "Could you get me in Star Trek?" And they're like, "Absolutely, Ron Howard's brother. We can put you in Star Trek. You ugly son of a bitch."
Was he a Klingon? Did they put
no? He's like a triage medic or something like that. Like he's got
it's usually like a behind the scenes role, or not behind the scenes, but it's usually like a small role, and then they'll give him like a few lines and stuff, and then they'll send him off their merry way on the next episode. It was like, I don't know if you guys watch any of the Star Wars stuff, but they did a Mandalorian episode where like everyone was so mad because like Jack Black and Lizzo were on it. And my wife she brought up a really good point. She was like, the cameo was cool because that like those two people, like Jack Black especially, I'm a huge Jack Black fan, and he is a mega Star Wars fanatic, right? So that he and also Lizzo are like really excited to be a part of this thing, because it's Star Trek or Star Wars, and how could you not want to be a part of it, right? But it kind of takes you away from it, because like who Jack Black is, who Lizzo is, and it didn't really change the way that they looked. They just took Jack Black and Lizzo, gave them nice outfits, and then put them in the Star Wars world.
Yeah. It didn't bother me, honestly. And maybe it's because I'm not taking the Mandalorian or Star Wars canon all that seriously. But I actually look
at that.
I legit don't know what Lizzo looks like. I wouldn't if I was in the elevator with Lizzo, I'd have no idea.
And that's fine, because it's not your music or anything like that.
We're about to talk lots of Lizzo.
Oh God!
So I don't know.
I know that she's in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course
I heard about that. Right.
She's been at the heart of like a whole fat acceptance movement. She's got them big bitches on stage with her dancing around. And it turns out she was running a real abusive show over there. It seems like they're fat shaming her already fat backup dancers, and she's like having them do all sorts of weird things. I'm sure Zach has an article somewhere to nitpick through, but the striking one was where she was forcing her backup dancers to take bites out of bananas that were protruding from prostitutes' vaginas in Amsterdam. I'm wanting to conflate vagina and banana because Lizzo did. She put bananas in vaginas and had her dancers eat them out of their vaginas, and some of them didn't want to. And I guess maybe they got in a little bit of trouble because
that makes a lot of sense.
And it's like you can't fat shame me one day.
Video? Or was this just this is what she likes to do?
As a Saturday night, Taylor.
So my friend,
going off some steam.
my friend who's like a big fan of her music and stuff was telling me about it, and she was basically saying like, yeah, literally that, and that it was just like for those particular like artists, like the dancers and stuff, like they were just uncomfortable, and then they were told that they had to do it, which is like, if someone's uncomfortable and you're telling them you have to do it, you're not winning there, like there's no victory to be had. You're forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do, plain and simple. Am
I the only one that thinks that's kind of straight? Like if she made her backup dancers go down on the women, then that's gay, right? Girl on girl. But you put a banana in there, and now it's straight again.
I don't think that's
now you're just eating while you're.
It's just a bizarre thing that rich people do.
Was she like, so what is the stage setting? She's sitting, I imagine, in a very strong chair.
On cinder block,
it is a very
she can, very sturdy.
She's dancing and running around and jumping around the whole time. She is
jumping. Now I know you're telling me.
Jumping and rolling and frothing about. She's really she froths. She gets after it. Yeah, it's real.
Okay, so it doesn't. While this is all happening, they're saying she's running around and just kind of watching as her backup dancers are biting the bananas out of the pussies of her other backup dancers.
Oh, is that what was happening on stage?
No.
Are you picturing it to be on stage?
No, I'm picturing like this is. You said this is like a Saturday night thing. This was not on stage, correct?
She hires prostitutes, whores, ladies of the night, as our last guest would say, and puts bananas in their pussies. And then forces the backup dancers to eat the bananas out of the pussy.
I get it now. That's pretty gross. I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't care for it.
Wow, I'm actually reading this article right now. So apparently,
I kind of like it.
They were like also trying to get them to switch to their religion. The suit also accuses Quigley, the captain of Lizzo's dance team, of trying to convert them, the three dancers who are suing, to their religion, calling her alleged behavior unceasing. Unceasing, while also chastising them for having premarital sex. What?
Wait, they're eating bananas out of pussy's cooters and being chastised for premarital sex?
It sounds like these are two different things. It sounds like there's a person named Quigley, Charlene Quigley. Okay, so all three plaintiffs, Crystal Williams, Ariana Davis, and Noel Rodriguez, performed with Lizzo at festivals and appearances from September 2021 to April 2022 during the special tour, and went on to perform in the 2023 European run. All right, Lizzo, her production company, and Charlene Quigley are named as defendants of the suit. But it sounds like a majority of the things that they're doing are going after Quigley, but Lizzo's attached to it as well. So this is, I got to read it more because I'm just kind of paraphrasing that first portion of it.
Everyone's hating on Lizzo, but not me, right? What I'm hearing is fat shaming and kinky sex. And these are a few of my favorite things.
Yes, fat shaming is, Woody is a fat shaming king, an absolute king. I've said it before, it might be my favorite thing about him, is that he does not abide fatness. Woody is that guy, like if it were acceptable in public, you would be like, click, like taking a photo of a fat person to like laugh at with Jackie later. Like you would be,
he's like a health seat, like an actual one. Like I
it's good. I'd vote for Woody over any of these fucking
Woody running. We'd be rounding them up in no time.
It's what you do. You put them on trains and you help them lose.
And then you're like, they see the trains and you're like, oh, no, we're walking. No, put us on the train, please. No, I've set up a series of obstacle courses and tires on the way to this fat camp. We're gonna get this country fit again. Fitness camp. It's a good ass idea.
Yeah, this lawsuit is interesting, but also not. Again, why is none of this shocking to me? I don't know. I've become so disillusioned.
I don't think cocaine's that expensive, right? Like all right, if you have a cocaine hat.
As far as drugs go, they're pretty pricey, I think. Right,
but if we wanted to get, like, how much is a gram? I feel like I don't know much about cocaine, but I feel like if we got 2 grams, we'd have a heck of a night. They're like 3-4 guys with like 2 grams of coke, right?
I bet it's hundreds of dollars for like 2 grams of coke, right? God, I don't know.
Hey Siri, how much is a gram of cocaine?
You can tell none of us do.
Thanks, Siri.
Here's what I found.
Hard drugs, cool kid drugs.
Oh shit!
Hang on, Taylor, let's take a guess before Woody informs.
Okay, 1 gram of cocaine. What do you say?
I'm going to say a gram of.
How much would a gram of cocaine be?
I'm going to say a gram of cocaine is $125.
I'm going to say 180.
184.
Really?
These are 2021 prices, but yeah.
Damn, I didn't even go over, dude. I'm gonna get
yeah, man, you're gonna win prices right on the.
You get the fucking showcase and mine for that.
The showcase, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna go for the door 3. Like,
good one. Yeah,
really, Taylor. I already know door 1 is what you wanted. Yeah, but door 3 could be anything. It could even be door 1.
That's so expensive. That's so expensive for what it is.
But how far does a gram go?
Not far at all.
A gram.
All right, so for like
a gram of powder is not that much. I don't even know how many lines become a gram. We need a drug guy.
I think we'd have like 3 or 4 or 5 nice fatties on a gram of cocaine that everybody would be satisfied with.
Yeah, but it's cocaine, and if you've ever been around people who are doing cocaine,
they constantly back for more.
They they do the cocaine, and then like. Within genuinely like 15 minutes, they're like, I need more cocaine. And it's like, dude, you realize like all the people smoking weed and like drinking beer, they're going to be fucked up on that all night like that. And it's way cheaper. Like you can just get high.
Cocaine? Are you saying it doesn't last or they just want to get higher?
It lasts so short compared to like weed or alcohol or something. And so they'll get gacked out of their mind for 45 minutes and then it starts coming down and you start feeling shitty and they're like, I need more coke. Like it is fucking hilarious being around friends and hearing them like when we were like mid-20s or whatever, and they'd be like, all right, I'm not getting any cocaine tonight. And I'm like, you say that often, I bet you do. And then like late in the night, it's like everyone else is having a fun time, like drunk or smoking weed or whatever. And then these guys are like, guys, where is the hookup? Where's the coke guy? And it's like, you're harshing everybody else's shit right now with your like obsession about needing coke. And then they get it. And there's like a fight between them about like, you did even more than I did. No, I didn't do as much as you. Well, we're already through this fucking like 3 grams or whatever we got.
People
it's like
doing coke. Are they skinny?
Fun.
Yeah, generally speaking,
if they're really into it, but most of the people I've seen were just normal people just doing it.
Coke addicts are skinny.
Yeah, a coke addict would be skinny. Anyone who's addicted to an upper is going to be skinny unless they are playing through the pain in the kitchen.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, that's just not. This doesn't interest me at all. No. I would much rather.
It's the DMT. Most boring drug I've ever done in my life. You're amped up for fucking 20 minutes. You feel pretty good, and then it goes away.
So much better. Like if you've got like a good instant release, 10, 20 milligrams of Adderall, it's such a better ride. There's so much more happiness.
It tastes like shit.
If I'm going to try a new drug, it's going to be Ozempic. That's the way to go.
No, you're not.
I got to look up exactly what that shit is.
You're just going to be sloughing off muscle, but you're like, the weight on the scale goes down. No, you don't want that shit. It seems like that's Ozempic for like morbidly obese
injection that helps lower blood sugar by helping the pancreas make more insulin. It is not approved for weight loss, but some physicians prescribe it to be used for weight loss. I'm going to keep reading because I need to. I don't know what it does.
Mm-hmm.
On average, with the recommended starting Ozempic dosage of 0.25 milligrams, a 500 to 1,000 calorie reduced diet. I don't know if that's reducing it by. I suppose it's reducing it, but on what size person? And exercise 3 times a week. This is stupid. That never mind.
Yeah, it's almost like this is brand new. Like they don't know shit seemingly.
Oh, there's some videos here who explain it, but
there've been so many celebrities on Ozempic. It's like their most effective advertising. I think Ozempic is the next like tadalafil. Like just it becomes widely consumed, and that it has a huge impact on our population once the manufacturing kicks up. Right now, it's rare, scarce is a better word, but it's going to be the next mega drug. It makes people thin.
I think you're right.
Okay, so there's another drug called Wegovy, Wegovy, and it's a higher dose version of Ozempic, and it is approved to help people manage their weight. This includes adults and adolescents age 12 and older who meet certain basically fatties.
Yeah, being fat. Yeah,
yeah, like super fat.
People who only have 4 packs. disgusting.
There's a picture of a woman here, and she looks like, I don't know, Gimli's mom or something, like big fatty. How it works. I'm really interested. Here's what I would be interested in. Something that I inject, and it just kind of does its job at making me get not as fat on as many calories, right? Like however that works. I don't care. I want to be able to eat more. I always want to be able to eat more.
It's an appetite suppressant.
Like it's an appetite, but it doesn't sound like that because it's making the pancreas make more insulin to lower blood sugar. That's how it treats diabetes. I would think that there's a similar mechanism helping weight loss, like something to do with insulin and glucose levels.
I'm out of my depth, but I think Taylor's right. And insulin and appetite are somehow related.
I don't care about appetite suppressant because I have like, I don't know, willpower plus like whatever else. Like I don't need that.
But apparently that's what it is.
Chemicals because that make it easier to stay lean.
Well, that's the thing, Kyle, is you are absolutely not the target market for this drug because you have the wherewithal and the discipline that when you want to make a change, you're going to do it. So if the principal benefit is to help someone who has no willpower staying away from chocolates and candy by fixing their insulin so they don't
that's genuinely not a
like
problem.
that wouldn't be good for you because like you don't need that.
Did
like,
Kyle say it elevates your insulin or lowers it?
I believe it increases insulin to lower blood sugar but I read it a minute ago and those are very similar sentences.
I'm with you. Yeah, Zach wrote this. Elevated insulin not only increases hunger, it impacts the types of food you crave and how foods taste and how much you eat. In short, elevated insulin makes you hungry and leads to overeating. Ozempic is a weekly injection that helps lower blood sugar by helping the pancreas make more insulin. So it's not clear to me why more insulin would.
So does that make you insulin resistant over time if something spikes how much
meant to treat diabetes in low dose, and
I just know it's
more
wildly
effective for weight loss.
People lose weight. It's just
okay.
People are having the transformations you can hardly believe. Like that's the same chick, or oh my god, now you need that like skin removal surgery. Ozempic is dishing that out all over the place, and the celebrities that like these chicks that were hot but now they're like 38 and they're just like a little thick. They hop on Ozempic. Kim Kardashian got back in like prime shape and she's in her 40s. From
Ozempic? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, it'll probably be. Hopefully,
I want to hear what Derek says
side
about
effects
Ozempic.
we don't know about.
That's
he's
always
done a lot of videos on it, but it's difficult to like they're like 27 minutes long and it takes a really focused attention span to extract the thing that I'm trying to gather from it. But
gotcha.
I think the takeaway is it works. But as soon as you hop off it, you get fat again.
So if you want,
even if the side effects are like bad, even if it had bad side effects, would those side effects add up to worse than like diabetes or like, you know what I mean? Like I know it's new and they don't know yet, but like
are more like punishment pain related. Like you get really nauseous. You don't enjoy food anymore. Like you look better, but you are less happy.
You just come off.
I would not want to be
able
nauseous all the time.
Take it sustainably. Derek was telling me about something.
It's sexy.
That's
Derek and I talked once about. Derek and I talked once about something that I could potentially use if like hunger pangs were like a real issue. Like because I was like the nicotine helps. And he's like, yeah, nicotine will help. You can bang that. He's like, and if it gets real bad and you just can't fucking stand it, then there was something else. Maybe it was a SARM or something like that. Maybe it was some numbers and letters, but I remember him. I think I remember him mentioning, that there's a thing you can take if you just can't fucking stand it, and you could take that. But I never escalated to that because I was always hungry, but I was never just like sitting there, fucking hitting my thigh like I just need a chip.
I feel like your success was so good that it just kept that reward effort cycle going. Like,
that's a big part of it.
Yeah, like I'm getting results from doing this. I like doing this. And do you like every single aspect of doing it? Was there no pain? Not no pain, but the gains are worth the pain. And
yeah,
that's my take on
what everyone does when they get motivated to get into shape is they hit it hard for 6 weeks and they still haven't seen any results. Like not at all a lot of times. and they look in the mirror and they can't even fucking tell the difference after 6 weeks. And they're like, God, it's been almost 2 months. That's how your brain works. You're like, I see people doing 3-month transformations, and here I am halfway there, and I don't even see a change. This isn't worth the pain. I want some food. I'm hungry. You know what? Pizza has a lot of protein, and you'll start talking about like use macros to trick you into junk food.
Oh,
they'll do that, and they'll do that, and then they'll quit. But when you're going full force, tweaking all the knobs on your RPG character and min-maxing everything, including steroids, you know, testosterone, which is what it is, you see results fast. 6 weeks, and I was like, oh shit, that was 6 weeks. God, what is 12 gonna look like? And in 12, it was like, I didn't think it was gonna look like this. What is 6 months? And it was every time you like take note of yourself and compare befores and afters, and especially the way I was keeping up with the DEXA scans, and I had the hard numbers. It's just like playing your RPG character. That people often say that if people ran their lives like they do their RPG characters, they'd all be fit millionaires. Because if you look at how people run their RPG characters, like, oh my God, you got everything where it's supposed to be. Your house is even well made. You know what I mean? Like you went and put the little gym, you hung pictures on the wall in your fake house.
You got a perfectly clean Skyrim house in your filthy hovel of a gaming room.
Yeah. So, but if you have those, because in an RPG, for one thing, it's a fun game, but also you get instant results. You grind a skill long enough, all of a sudden you punch guys and something happens. And just seeing those visual results that you get from TRT and everything else really kept me motivated every step of the way. That and having people to disappoint, namely Derek. Didn't want to disappoint Derek because I made a promise. He didn't ask me to make a promise, but I was just like, dude, you because he's putting so much time into it for nothing seemingly. I was like, you've helped me so much. You've clearly spent so much time. I will not let you down. You know, I promise I will not let you down. This is gonna be cool. And I was so scared of those weight check-ins with Derek and failing them. Like say that Mitch went to he'd been living off the grid, and he went to a hotel, needed a room, and didn't have a card. They said, we need a card. He's like, I don't have a card, but I've got a whole pile of cash, like $6,000 here. You know, he's like, gotta have a card. He's like, you see, but this cash is what that card represents. See, what you're doing right now is it was like he was trying to hire a Frank Sinatra impersonator, and then Frank Sinatra showed up, and you had a problem with that. I love that. That's so funny. He wouldn't take the wad of cash to hold the room. I hate our modern society. I love in old movies when someone walks up and hands the guy like a golden coin and then just walks into the room. That's all we needed to say. Just give, here's $5 that gets me the room for the week. I like that. I like everywhere I go, they want my fucking phone number. They want my goddamn name. I went to buy a vape cartridge. Let me get your name, your number, your address. I'm like, no, you can't have any of that. Give me that fucking vape cartridge. What is this? We're not friends.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't have my address.
You can't buy. My mom doesn't have my address. Dude, you can't go into a CVS without them accosting you for something. Oh, sign up for our rewards program. Sign up for this or that. No, I don't want to sign up for your Nordstrom, your rewards, your Walgreens, your nothing. No.
The worst ever for that? GameStop. Oh my God. But I would be like, I'd like this video game. No upsells, please. I'd say that. They were like, do you want to join our program? No upsells, please. Would you like this? No upsells, please. You want to buy this used? No. I just want this and I want to go.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It sucks. Because oftentimes like when your manager is standing next to you and you're in one of those jobs, I remember like working at the rental car place and like having to get away from my normal super speedy I was the best customer service guy you could hope for. The best. You got insurance, brother? Yeah. Get out of here. You like that was the tier of selling.
So there's no situation in which I should get the insurance
unless you were uninsured. No. There's no
what
reason
if
to get
I
it unless you're
intend to fuck with the car? Like, all right, this is a Honda Accord and there's going to be some off-roading. Should I get the insurance?
Yeah.
If you say off-roading, they will mark it.
I'm not going to tell them that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, obviously don't mention off-roading and get the insurance and just make sure it's cleaned enough so that there's not a huge amount of mud under the wheel well, because if they see a bunch of that, they'll go, this was off-roading, your insurance is declined since it precludes off-roading. So make sure you clean it before you bring it back.
Oh, don't worry. The lake's going to wash all that mud off.
Here's the thing. I don't really know what happens if you throw a car into park or reverse while you're still moving at a good clip. Like, I know you're not supposed to, but I've never seen what happens.
It makes a lot of noise. I've done it. Yeah.
My guess would be nothing anymore. That there would be a clutch or something that would immediately be smart enough to go, let's not kill ourselves. And you would just hear a lot of brrrr as it slipped and allowed stuff to turn instead. But what if you did it in a manual? What if you're going fucking 70?
We didn't have
press
any
the
manuals.
fucking clutch, threw that bitch in reverse, and drop the clutch again. What happens?
If you're in a if you're hypothetically if you're in a Hyundai Accent flying through an open field of gravel, drifting the Hyundai Accent, hypothetically, because you can drift anything in that. If you throw it in park right away, it makes a loud noise and then screeches on the gravel to a stop.
I was going to say, instead of the transmission braking, it might be that the tires skid.
No, you would never get that power.
Well, I guess I was on gravel. I wouldn't know.
Because the drive shaft is carrying so much momentum. So is the torque converter. There's a lot of metal spinning in there at a high rate that's going to have to stop, arrest, and turn the other way, and then deliver that power to the tires. And it's all coming apart before we ever get it there. Like, it's coming apart at the point the transmission attaches to the engine. That fucking, I don't know what you call it, that main rod. And if you look at it, just a transmission that's in the center, that it's blowing up. The transmission's going to explode. That's my guess. If you're going fast, press the clutch, put her in reverse, give it gas, might as well, and then just drop the clutch. Just pow! I think you'd hear a huge explosion, and that transmission would fucking. I think there would be a point of contact where it just exploded. I don't know if the transmission would jump out of the car or anything.
On everything since we last spoke.
So weird. Like on the other hand, though, like I saw that Taylor Swift gave everybody that worked on her latest tour like this enormous bonus that came to maybe. Was it $55 million that she?
Damn. I have 25 in my head, but I'm low confidence on that.
It was
Zach said 55.
I think it was $55 million.
Was it? Okay.
Give everybody a little bit of this. $55 million goes a long way. I don't know how much for.
You divide that 250 ways, and it's still a lot for everybody.
Well, I mean, you consider how rich she is, right? And then also like,
I'm just saying,
and these people in this tour,
so
these people are the reason why these shows even happen.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't see other rich people dividing $55 million.
That's true.
Like Elon Musk is super rich, but I didn't hear about him like giving $55 million to what I assume is a couple hundred people.
Well, he gave $54 billion to some rich guys and bought Twitter instead.
Thousands of people to put on her show. Might be
not one show, but I believe it was the tour was the way I heard it described. The people who worked on her latest, her tours have names like the Resurgence tour or the fucking.
Oh yeah, sources confirm that caterers, truck drivers, riggers, dancers, and more all receive bonuses from what Zach is saying. That's awesome.
Because it's an international tour, right? So I'm sure it's like fucking everywhere in the United States plus 8 European stops.
Can you imagine coordinating that? That has to be really hard to coordinate with the different companies that issue out the paychecks.
That's such a George Costanza job. All right,
it really is.
$55 million. Go diversify it to the people who worked on my tour. But I work for you.
All of them died from the poison checks that you sent them.
Zach said 250 people max. I'm not sure where that comes from, but
I don't know.
There's got to be more.
55 million divided 250 ways is a lot.
Yeah, it ain't that because we're talking about.
It comes out that like one of the people is her cousin, and it was $54.8 million or something.
What's her cut? Like, how much more profit can there be? I guess she's making a lot.
I bet it's enormous.
I mean, she's Taylor Swift.
I think is she the biggest? She's the biggest artist like alive right now, right?
But like this tour alone,
I don't know. Actually,
I don't know anything about this business, but I wouldn't guess that she's making more than like 250 million. So she gave away 55 million.
I thought I saw some like graphic that like she was blowing out like big names like Jay-Z and stuff in income. All right,
we're talking about 52 Taylor Swift concerts, by the way. It's going to be enormous. It's going to be enormous. I don't know, what's the gate on a UFC event when they sell like 8,000 tickets? It's millions of dollars. And I would imagine
Taylor Swift is much bigger than the UFC.
Are her tickets like $200 for all of them?
I hear you. To go. It is tough for me to translate gate into profit. Like there's so many people with their palm up along the way.
That's true.
She's here for him. She's got $55 million.
Yeah, but like
that's pretty cool.
How much does the arena get? Like more than half?
Oh,
I don't even know.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I have the list of the top 15 richest music artists in the world.
Oh, yeah? Top 3.
Jay-Z.
Yeah. Okay, let's. I'm actually curious to hear what everyone's thoughts would be.
Yeah, is it money made this year?
So
or
when was your list made?
This one was made in, hold on, bad out there, July 13th, 2023. So
okay, so I'm not putting Kanye in the top
and this
3.
is aggregate. Is this is just this year, or this is their career?
Below you can check the net worth and other important details about the world's richest musicians in 2023. So this is their net worth in 2023.
Jay-Z.
I want to lock in Jay-Z. Yeah.
All right. So let's do.
I'm gonna do Jay-Z, Beyonce, Taylor Swift.
As your in no order?
Yeah, it's my top 3. I don't really have it.
Okay, in no order. Got it. All right.
I'm definitely not taking Beyonce on my team. I'm taking Jay-Z, taking Taylor Swift, and
Dr. Dre.
No.
He had that business that he sold for like $1 billion to Apple.
That's true.
We get to count all that crazy shit that
We're
Charles Barkley. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but that was years ago, though. So,
I'll say Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Interesting. You guys a lot of you are going for either pop or hip hop.
Yeah.
Keith Urban.
Okay. Keith Urban. All right. We got Keith Urban.
I don't know who's the big country.
Oh,
guy.
Garth Brooks comes to mind.
Garth Brooks. That's who I meant to say.
Okay.
Jay-Z, Taylor Swift, and actually no, I'm gonna call an audible here and say P. Diddy.
P. Diddy. All right. So here's the deal. I'm gonna start from 15 up, and we're just gonna go really fast. Okay.
P. Diddy is a ton of business venture.
All right. First up, number 15, Kanye West, $400 million. Number 14, Taylor Swift, $570 million. Number 13, Julio Iglesias, $600 million, Spanish singer. Bruce Springsteen, number 12, $650 million. Number 11, Dolly Parton, $650 million. 10, Bono, $800 million. 9, Dr. Dre, $850. Then we have Madonna at 8 with $850 as well. And then Herb Alpert is at $900 million. I've never heard of him, but good on him. P. Diddy is number 6 at $900 million. Jimmy Buffett at $1 billion. Paul McCartney at $1.2 billion. And then this is the one that's going to really throw you for a loop. Number 3 is Andrew Lloyd Webber at $1.3 billion.
Who's that?
The musical guy?
The musical guy who Maxwell Sheffield famously hated in The Nanny. And then number 2 is Rihanna at $1.4 billion. And everyone got number 1 right. It's Jay-Z.
At
in my defense,
billion. Shout out
to
I said
Beyonce. I meant Rihanna. I just don't know better.
So Rihanna has to be because of the Fenty business. I think that's her business, Fenty makeup, which I know is massive because it's like one of the only makeup brands that is made for people with different colored skins. Like it's inherently made for people with like a large palette of different skin tones. So I know that's why that like makeup line popped off, because like even my wife buys it, and my wife doesn't even buy makeup that much. So
I wonder how many of them are super rich off their music. Like, better yet, how many of them are not super rich? Like Dr. Dre, for example, $850 billion. I think a lot of that might have been producing and investments. I wasn't sure if 50 Cent would be on there. Didn't he have vitamin water money or something?
But he went bankrupt and hid a lot of his wealth a few years ago.
And he was also just an investor in vitamin water. He didn't actually I think he was like an initial investor in vitamin water for like mostly clout and stuff. And to like get it into the hood and like get people like drinking it. Because I remember back in the day, when I was growing up in the Bronx, like everywhere you went, you would see vitamin water, and it would always be 50 Cent. just like promoting it, just like on the front. So like everyone stopped drinking Gatorade, Powerade, like any of those other drinks, and they were just chugging vitamin waters. I'm like, I don't think this is much better, guys. But
yeah, I remember thinking
never had a vitamin water.
Do you remember thinking it was like really good for you because you'd see the commercials and you'd be like, well, 50 Cent is shredded and he's
and the name of it
called it vitamin water,
right? They could call it protein water or something. Be like, well, shit, I guess the primary ingredient's either protein or water.
How predatory is that? Like reading the back of a vitamin water, that should be illegal. It's got like more soda than 2 Cokes.
Like I'm almost certain the first ingredient in vitamin water is like not even water. It's I think it's like sugar or some dextrose thing or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's
probably water, but it
can't be water, bro. It can't be water. I'm gonna look this shit up.
It's not even. It's even worse than Gatorade, and Gatorade sucks.
I like Gatorade.
Dude, if you had body armor, like
but wait, how are you measuring it? By taste or by health?
Oh, by taste.
I drink Gatorade Zero, so it's no fucking calories anyway. Or if it is, it's like the whole bottle's got 30 calories, and it's like I burnt that getting dressed. So
okay, the first is water, but they win this battle.
I don't like water. I don't like just drinking straight up water. I almost never do it. But I drink tons of everything else.
Straight water.
I've never had a vitamin water in my life. I don't know what it tastes like or what the flavors are like. I remember when that came out thinking that was ghetto water and that the idea of putting vitamins in water was it was like you didn't even take a step forward before you took a step back, bro.
You didn't even
immediately. Why don't you make me some? You got any spinach water? I don't want it. No thanks. No vitamin water for me. I want some rutabaga water. You got any turnip water?
Oh man,
get out of here. Give me
our interpretations of ghetto water is very different as well, by the way, which I love. You know, but that's it, man. That's America. You know,
I mean, when I looked at it, it was never like, all right, when I watch an Apple commercial, it has a certain look to it. The people using the products and the environment they're in. And then I watch the vitamin water commercial.
Oh yeah, it looks is the hood. Dude,
I didn't know that. I've never seen a vitamin water commercial. To me, it was just somebody trying to trick you into healthy water, like a healthy drink. Gatorade, but healthier is what vitamin water is.
I think they're trying to trick I don't think they're trying to trick me, but I could tell they're trying to trick somebody into drinking water. And I didn't want to be part of their bag. No, I've never had.
No, it was literally trying to trick people into thinking that
it was healthy.
Vitamin water was healthy.
Of course,
like, the same as full
why
sugar.
You call
Gatorade.
it vitamin water.
Yeah, that's why you call it vitamin water because it's
its second ingredient is crystalline fructose. Okay, not even they motherfuckers couldn't even say sugar. They just say crystalline fructose, man.
Yeah,
as if it's like something you find in a cave in the middle of like South Africa or something like that.
It comes from like the worst pears that are left over at the worst supermarkets. Like and pulled out of that. Like
I just watched a documentary on Netflix called Poisoned. It's an hour and 20 fucking minutes about our food industry. And it starts off with this montage of politicians saying we have the safest food supply in the world, like one after another. But the video will be like rat shit and food and like a dead cat falling into the bin of rice or something. And it's they have a few central characters. One of them is a lawyer who was the guy who stuck it to Jack in the Box back in the day when they killed those kids. You may not know it. Late 70s, early 80s, there was an incident, maybe Ohio and New Jersey, can't remember exactly. Jack in the Box killed some kids, basically. Whoa. They undercooked their hamburgers, and the meat had E. coli 0157 in it. And so both of those contributed to a lot of kids dying, hundreds of kids being poisoned. And what you got to understand, this isn't just food poisoning. We've probably all had one kind of E. coli or another.
This was 1992, 1993, by the way. It's called the Great Jack in the Box E. coli outbreak. Sorry.
Yeah, it's this E. coli 0157 stuff is just deadly. Apparently, it goes into your gut and it produces this stuff called Shiga toxin, which then gets in your bloodstream, kills your red blood cells. All those red blood cells make your kidneys failure, and then there's a cascade reaction where it kills one organ after another. And I'm not talking about over weeks and months. One day you have diarrhea, the next day you are in a coma and dying. The third day you are dead. And it happened to tons of children, and they didn't know what it was at first. So there's this delayed reaction, and this lawyer really stuck it to Jack in the Box, got each kid like millions and millions of dollars. Some of them to this day are like, some of these kids have to learn to walk again. Like it's weird neurological nerve damage that they receive from this stuff. And the deal was at that time, E. coli 0157 was just considered something that might be on beef. You know, it's not, if you were to test the beef at the plant and they're like, yeah, E. coli again, when you know it, pack it up, because it was considered to be the customer's problem at that point. It's like, cook your meat, cook the E. coli out of it. And so what had happened was at those Jack in the Boxes in particular in the Northeast or wherever, they had a regulation that had changed recently that said, you got to cook your burgers to 155 degrees. That's what we want. And they're like, nah, it makes them tough. They said that in a memo, maybe an email. That makes them tough. So they've got them saying, hey, 155 will make our beef healthier and safer. And them going, makes the burgers tough. And then a pile of dead children. So Jack in the Box paid through the fucking nose. And then this documentary goes on to explain why we have these salmonella outbreaks now. And it's because all of the leafy greens on the fucking planet. I'm talking about if you're in Thailand or Japan tonight and you have a romaine salad, it's grown in Arizona. That's where it came from. They grow it in these huge, massive irrigation fields that are right next to the concentrated cattle lots.
Oh, and nice. That's convenient.
All of that. And so all of that shit and water is flowing out of them down a trough into an irrigation ditch, and that's being spritzed on all of the vegetables that everyone eats. And so all you need is
extra
one
seasoning.
One cow in that feedlot to get to shit, and it's 0157, and then that shit goes into the water and gets sprayed on one head of lettuce. Then that head of lettuce, you ever buy a spring mix? How many heads of lettuce is that spring mix incorporated into that bag?
A lot.
Are they even from the same field, from the same part of the same state, from the same grower? Who knows? You could be covering an acre worth of land. That's the potential for shit being sprayed on your food.
Mhm.
And you don't wash romaine lettuce. Who likes a hot salad, right?
Yeah.
So you're rinsing it off, and that doesn't kill the bacteria. The same thing is true with sprouts. But romaine lettuce and baby spinach seem to be the number one danger things. There was a 17-year-old girl who got crippled in the middle of the documentary, and it was I think it was lettuce from Panera Bread or something, or something like that. And they're always a little queasy. They're always a little weird about saying shit. I loved one of the scientists just said shit. He was like, you got these animals shitting, and that shit gets sprayed on our food, and then we eat the shit. And I was like, thank you for explaining it, because no one.
That's how you have to say it. No, because someone's going to be like,
and you can see the fecal matter actually goes inside of the liquid and then it spreads in a blossoming matter.
It's like, no, just tell me, is there shit in there? I need to know right now.
That's like the kind of guy who would like be brought up in front of our geriatric retard politicians on one of those things, and he'd be like, there's shit all over the food, and they'd be like, whoa, English. Like, leave your technology and your diplomas at the door. I'm 102. Like,
there was a peanut plant here in Georgia that was so filthy. For one thing, there were holes in the roof, and the bird shit was just, when it would just rain down into the food. And so all sorts of like viruses from birds potentially that can cross over, and all sorts of illnesses, right? Rat shit everywhere, dead rats everywhere. And they have memos there too, where he's like, get the product and get it shipped. And they're like, well, we'll have to clean the dirt and shit off of it first. And he's like, clean it and ship it. And it's like all right there in black and white. And he was this old multimillionaire that had been doing Georgia peanuts for decades. The guy only gave him 3 months, and he poisoned so much. So the thing is, everything has a little bit of peanut in it. So they couldn't, all the Keebler cookies in the country had to be thrown out, right?
Really?
And then like all the peanut butter and all the peanut snacks, that it was so many products. Call it 300 different products. If it's one product, it's like, all right, get rid of all the fruit bars.
Mm-hmm.
But it was hundreds of products that had his poisoned peanuts in them that had to be thrown out.
I'm assuming he's not in business anymore.
I bet he is.
Is that where we get all of our peanuts in the U.S. from Georgia?
Georgia has to be numero uno. We do a ton here. There could be a neighboring state that does it cheaper, but it has to be Georgia, I would think. That's kind of what we're known for. But it opened my eyes. I honestly am never going to have a romaine lettuce salad. Not a salad again. I'll never eat a salad again. It was so scary that I'm not going to risk eating salad over the potential.
What about like
damages.
a real good Caesar salad? Like
No,
pre-steak. You're not.
I'm never going to have a salad again because it doesn't matter how fancy your salad is, unless they're literally growing those greens themselves locally. Then they could have sprayed it with some fucking shit, and you can't wash it off well enough to ensure that you won't die.
Do you have a farmer's market near you? Because I know it's a meme, but if you have one near you, people, go there and get all your vegetables there. It's 10,000 times better. It's not even close. A tomato from a grocery store isn't better. Even a tomato.
The salmonella with chicken thing, I'd always heard that. So they get the guy who owns fucking Purdue. He's like the chicken man. Half the country in the country he's in charge of.
Yep. He was in the documentary. I think they mentioned him a few times in that chicken documentary, the chicken sandwich one.
And the other half is the Tyson guy. Yeah.
And they were like, we took 5 chickens from the grocery store and tested them, and one of them had salmonella, and it was a Purdue chicken. And he's like, okay, well, I mean, that's a small sample size, though. You know, five packages, and one of them was ours. I would like to see a larger sample size. And they're like, well, what would you suggest? 150 birds in a short period of time. They immediately go buy 150 fucking birds and send them to the lab. 35% or something of Purdue chicken has salmonella on it when you buy it out of the package. And that's not just their chicken. When you buy chicken, just know there is a 1 in 3 chance that there is a poison on that chicken that could kill you. So cook your chicken 165 degrees and you'll live.
No, I like it medium rare.
Me too. I like a little pink in the middle.
Taylor likes his with it was just a little bit of blood.
Yeah, there's nothing like chicken nigiri, right? Little rice, little.
I like a little. I made myself chicken tartare the other day. Absolutely delicious.
It has to be chilled. It has to be chilled just right.
Only if it's chilled, and honestly, the sides may have to be tasteful. Otherwise,
if 4 hours later you're not grievously ill, you didn't make it right.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you're not shitting your pants, that's not good food. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, you want to lose weight? A little chicken tartare. That'll get you. That'll get you right where you need to be.
That's a fitness plan right there.
I guarantee it. Like, I'm gonna be more careful when I cook because I've gotten food poisoning a lot. Usually from restaurants.
Gotten it a baffling amount of times.
I eat risky foods and I eat risky times of day. This
is good for you to watch because you are definitely more susceptible to food poisoning than other people. I bet you've over doubled up me and Woody combined in the past few years.
I've eaten Red Lobster raw oysters before. Like,
why would you do that?
Red Lobster raw oysters?
Yeah, they have raw oysters at the Red Lobster. And I remember I was on a date once and I was like, really? Well, give us a dozen. And they got there and she's like, I don't eat those. And I had to eat a dozen oysters as an appetizer. And by the 8th oyster, it was just for show.
Yeah, you were committed.
It was just for show at this point. It was.
I love oysters.
Are you sure you don't want at least one oyster? Just trying to get them to take one off that plate so I have. They're getting warm now. But it's usually been like burger joints that got me sick. I'll never eat at a Sonic again because I got poisoned at a Sonic and went back 2 days later to the same place and got poisoned again.
At that point, that's just your fault. That's your fault.
Yeah.
You know, you only have yourself to blame.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
That burger was delicious.
Yeah. I mean, wait, how is it delicious if it got you sick?
But look. That completely different things.
He loves the taste of poop.
It was a delicious burger full of poison or shit or something. But I remember they had one of those seasonal jalapeno burgers, which I always am super attracted. I love it when they're like Wendy's had one back in the day that was jalapenos and nacho cheese, and that was the burger. Ugh. And it was so good, Taylor.
Nacho cheese on a burger.
I'd eat it on my lunch break, and I'd be just fucking in the car eating that motherfucker. It's so good.
Is it fried jalapenos?
I remember them being pickled and being very spicy.
I was gonna make fun of you if they're fried because that's the worst.
The poop is the secret ingredient, Taylor. You're missing out on how good this thing tastes.
Taylor was talking about his chicken tartare weight loss tactic.
That's my
new business for
weight
watching.
loss. You eat
Your
you
food
eat yourself-
poisoning weight loss strategy is way better than my flu-based one.
Yeah. Woody's just licking fucking taxi handles. That's what he's hoping for. No,
You mean to tell me I've been licking doorknobs this whole time, and all I had to do was have chicken tartare? Fuck out of here!
You just need chicken tartare. And the secret is, all that chicken at the store, once you lick it, they don't make you buy it, and they can't sell it.
That's
you just have to have a lot of grocery stores around you.